Ecosummit.
Thanks, thank you. Great. So welcome for a quick intro to what Mobisol is doing. And what we are doing, you can see up there. Mobisol is doing decentralized solar electrification. And decentralized is a bit my buzzword today, because decentralized is something which often worked in Africa. If you look into success stories of Africa, you realize that they have been decentralized. If you look at the mobile phone penetration nowadays in Africa, it's incredible. Almost every African has a phone. None of them ever had a landline. I had a landline, the majority of you probably had a landline. They never. Because the landline was never made for the harsh and the vast environment of the African rural setup. So they directly leapfrogged to the phone. Then you look into M-Pesa, the fairy tale story of mobile money in Kenya. Kenyans, they transferred already money from phone to phone before smartphones even existed, or before I did it, and probably you did it as well. They just did it from their feature phone, one by one, sending money using mobile money. And none of those people, not none, but the majority of those people never had access to a bank account. And why didn't they have access to a bank account? Because the bank account system, or the banking system like we know it, was not made for the rural setup. People don't stock thousands of dollars on their accounts so the bank, can explain some costs for having an office in a village. So they didn't have access to a bank account. So what they did is they found a solution which was decentralized, by just sending money from one handy to another mobile phone, easily. And then looking at electrification. 83% of Africans, sub-Saharan Africans, don't have access to electricity. Why is that? Siemens is around there, and big, large companies are around there. The reason is that the grid infrastructure and the network, the way we know it, is not made for the rural setup. It's not made for the consumption behavior rural Kenyans have. And that's why we developed a decentralized solution. Mobisol developed a system which is reliable and affordable and made for the rural setup. Looking at that picture, I like it for two reasons. First reason is I took it, and second reason is it very easily explains and describes what Mobisol is about. You don't see a panel there, but what you see is, you see a packed panel, you see a TV, you see a battery. On the back you would also see a bunch of cables, which a person is transporting on his bike. So that guy is transporting electricity on his bike. Why is he using a bike? Because the bike is the #1 transport way in rural Rwanda. And that's key. If you would need a truck, or if you would need a large pickup to transport each and every system to a customer, it won't be affordable to the customer anymore, and it won't be scalable neither in the rural setup. Another key for us is speed. If you want to be scalable, if you want to be fast, if you want to scale, then you can't be too complex. We always say to install a Mobisol system takes one person, 1 hour, one hammer. Okay, if I install a system, it maybe takes 2 to 3 hours, but generally our African colleagues are doing a better job. So it takes you 1 hour. You don't need much. You need a hammer. If you don't have a hammer, you use a stone. So you see that lady, which is one of our technicians installing a Mobisol system, within that hour. Maybe it took 1.5. Why do you need to be fast? You need to be fast because there's so many people which want to have access to electricity. And we want to serve that market, because on the one side, of course, it's a bit of a, people don't have electricity. We feel electricity is the key for development. But on the other side, it's a massive market. It's 1.5 billion people which don't have access to electricity. So it's a massive market for us. But then it's not only reliability, it's also affordability. The customers we serve generally don't have the income potential of paying such a system upfront. So what we did is we developed a system where the customer can repay that solar system over 3 years using mobile money. So wherever he is, he can take his phone and transfer money to us. So you probably wonder what happens if the customer is not repaying, because that could happen. Then we just turn off the system. It sounds a bit harsh. We are not only turning off the system, but every Mobisol smart controller has an embedded SIM card on which we can remotely monitor the system, so we can see if the system is running or not, no matter if it's like 4, 5, 6 hours away from the next rural area in Tanzania, Rwanda, Kenya, it doesn't matter. But we can also we can also control the system. So if a payment is not coming in, which we track automatically, we can turn off a system and the customer gets some SMS, Mambo, Rafiki, would be time to do your money transfer. As soon as he pays with his phone, no matter where he is, the system automatically turns on again. And having said that, Mobisol has an incredible repayment rate of bigger than 96%. So 96% of our loans are repaid according to time. And that is for us, of course, a great proof of concept. And before I explain a bit more what we're doing, I want to show you a quick video which is much better summarizing what we're doing than I could do. So we did that video 2 years ago to celebrate our 1,000th customer, or in other words, it was 49,000 customers ago. Nowadays, Mobisol has electrified 50,000 homes, or 250,000 people connected to reliable and clean electricity. Yeah, and I want to finish with that, and thank you very much. Thanks.